Hi guys, long time no see. So today I want to show you a new collection from a German brand called Hahnemühle, and maybe many of you know Hahnemühle because it's a famous papeteer firm known for photographic papers, for art papers. I've been using them for years for watercolor. They have wonderful watercolor paper, and this year they came out with a new collection called Fine Notes. Now this collection is a complete writing collection with pens and fountain pens on one side and notebooks on the other side, and they sent me the two different notebooks that they offer in this collection. To my left, the Manuscript, and to my right, the Iconic. So the main difference between the two is in the style and the pricing and the overall quality, but even the Manuscript, which is the lower end one, is definitely high quality. So let's introduce the firm. So I will show you the logo. This is the Hahnemühle logo, which we know in France under the name Moulin du Coq. So I have no idea if in England or anywhere else they actually translate the name Hahnemühle, but it's actually what it is. And it's a very old brand. It started in 1584, and for more than 400 years they've been making high-end paper. And today it's still rather artisanal, it's not handmade, but it's industrial, still with a kind of family functioning. So let me show you these two notebooks, and we're going to start with the Manuscript and then with the higher end Iconic notebook. Right, so let's see these three babes. I left the right one as you receive it, so you can see what it looks like when you receive it. It's a premium notebook with high-end paper. It's not as premium as the Iconic, but it's already quite premium. It comes in 5 different colors: the navy blue, the gray, the sage, a beige, and of course the black. So today I've just have these 3 colors to show you, and we're going to use the gray to see how it presents on the cover. I'm going to put this one aside. And I'm going to keep these 2 since I haven't used this one. I have used these 2 for a few months now, and so I can tell you they are very pleasant to use. Okay, so let's have a look around it. Okay, the size is a DIN A5, which means it's the perfect A5 size. It's not a smaller A5, it's not a bigger A5, it's the DIN A5. Right, and that is a leather notebook. Both are the Iconic and the Manuscript are leather notebooks, but this one is recycled leather. And the idea with this whole collection is an homage to the work of papeteer. It's a homage to the paper, and it is meant with the idea of reminding the user of all the industrial process of making a paper. And I will show you this. You can see it right from the start because of the embossing. So that's recycled leather. It's a bit strong to the use. So let me show you. Right. So the embossing on the leather is called Safriano. It's a strong one, and it's not your usual choice. It's not the default choice when you emboss your leather. So this choice has a reason. The reason is to show how paper was made. Paper was made on a metal grid, and that grid left that kind of marking on the paper when it was made. And so they wanted to remind the user of the mark that was left on the paper from that grid. And that's a very nice idea. But if you do not know, I don't think you can guess. I think it should have been explained on it, and it's not really explained. So when you receive it, by the way, you've got the presentation like this. So let me show you this. So it's a DIN A5, as I said, 192 pages. The pages are 100 grams per meter square. They are meant for fountain pens, definitely they are. They are dotted, and they are watermarked, which I will show you. They are completely made in Germany, and they are made from recycled leather. So recycled leather is a nice idea. It's like you take the pieces left from leather work, and then you destroy them into little bits, and then you restructure them into a solid piece. It's recycled, which is nice. The issue is that it's a bit plasticky, which is the main issue there, I think. But it's got advantages as well. I made mistakes on this notebook. I had pen marks, and you can just actually I don't put water, I just licked my finger and then it just went away. So it's a nice durable version, which you cannot do with the other one. So that's the idea. It's kind of solid and firm. Yet the cover has still has a bit of suppleness, but not as much as the other one. And when you open it, so let's open it, let's show you what it looks like inside. It won't stay open flat unless you break the cover. But once you break the cover, it will remain open, but not as well as the other one. Okay, so let's have a look at what it looks like. The design is sober and simple, almost industrial. It's a modern design, no excess in anywhere, but very nice finish. As you can see, the borders have been cut, so you have a round finish here. The border is perfect. It's been rounded, which is something that I really like. I don't like when it's not rounded. It's really well finished. Right. And inside you'll find the first card with the Hahnemühle logo to the left of my hand. Then you'll find a little history of the brand with the Mühle at the end. And then you will find the paper. So we'll talk about that paper again. And then you've got your page mark, which is always in the same color. And then just the card on which the recycled leather is just simply at the end. No pocket, nothing. I never use pockets, so I don't mind that there are no pockets at the end of these notebooks. Right, now let's show you the paper. The paper is absolutely perfect for using with fountain pens. So let me show you a paper that has not been used first. So they chose creamy off-white paper. It's not ivory, it's not white either, it's creamy off-white. So it's softer than an ivory color, and so your inks will come nicely on this paper, but it's not too white, so they won't come too strong on it. But I will show you that. It's a dotted notebook, which is nice. I find the dotted notebooks to be much more polyvalent, and I'm going to show you because in this one I actually used it vertically, like this. And I really enjoy sometimes doing this, which you cannot do with a lined notebook. You can do that with a blank notebooks, but then... Right, so sorry, the video was cut, my card was full, so I'm going to show you, I was going to show you how the fountain pen works on this paper. So I use my favorite fountain pen with an ink from yeap called Vert Gris, which is a lovely ink. And as you can see, it's absolutely perfect. Right. It's very pleasant, it's a very smooth paper, it's absolutely very adapted to fountain pens. They write it at the back that it's meant for fountain pens, but it really is. To give you an idea of how this paper answers to fountain pens, if you are used to the Clairefontaine high-end paper, that would be the same quality. It's really very nice with fountain pens. Of course, it's less adapted to using regular pencils, but when you love writing with fountain pens, then that is absolutely perfect. And as I'm going to show you something that's very nice about this paper, this is something I used to see in my mother's bookshop. And she used to sell paper as well, and notebooks and everything. And there was something that fascinated me with some of the papers, and I'm going to show you exactly what it is. All this paper is a high-end writing paper, and they kept a process that is called watermarking, and you can find the watermarks in every notebooks. So let me show you in this one. I don't know if you can actually see it. You can see it if you know what you're looking for on the paper. You can actually feel it under your fingers when they are very sensitive, which is the case of mine. I have very sensitive finger ends. But you cannot feel it when you write on it, and you can forget about it. But you've got watermarks. So let me show you. I'm going to let light through so you can see. Right, look in the middle of a page, you've got one. You actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 showing on this one, but right in the middle you've got one which you can see well. So that's the watermark. And you can find the logo, the Hahnemühle logo, watermarked on every single page. So that's actually quite funny. It's beautiful as well, this little rooster. And so how do they obtain that result? Well, they have, as I mentioned before, they have those grids. And on those grids, they can put little decor pieces, which in that case would be the rooster for Hahnemühle. And as the paper pulp comes on these grids, the pulp will stay more on the other side, and you will have less of it on the decor, of course. And when the light comes through the paper is thinner where you have the watermarks, and so the light shows through it, and so you almost cannot see it when it's standing flat, but when you let the light come through, we've got the light of day coming from here, then you can actually see it. Let me try to show it to you a little better. It's very discreet, but it's nice. I used to see that when I was a child. On most papers that were meant for handwriting and for correspondence. And then you can hardly see it now, but they have kept that process in a high-end Hahnemühle paper, so which is a nice touch, I think, and I love to look at it, exactly as I loved to do it when I was a child. So now let's show you the iconic. So we've seen the manuscript, and the manuscript is, let's say, the lower end product in the fine note collection. Now the iconic, well, do we have the focus? Yes, no. The iconic is the premium version of what you have just seen. Again, a very simple notebook, but in a premium finish. Not to say that the manuscript was not premium either. It's well finished, it's very detailed, it's perfect in itself, but the iconic is a bit different. Well, when the manuscript arrives like this, the iconic arrives in a nice little box which is embossed in gold colors. So here you've got the logo, the Hahnemühle brand, and it's this iconic premium notebook. So let's open this and show you what you see. I've been using this notebook for months, so I just put it back so you can see how it comes when it arrives. So you've got this very nice box, which is black on the other side. I think it would have been better if it had been the same color all around, but whatever. It's a choice. Inside you've got this little papier de soie. And you take the notebook out like this. So here, already you can feel it's a luxury notebook. This time the iconic name comes in. What do you see? Oh, I've got a missing word. Gold and silver. Sorry, silver. COVID. I lose my words. So let's take this out, and you'll see the presentation is almost the same, as just higher quality in terms of materials. And so we have the same presentation. Again, this is a DNA Fab, 192 pages, 100 grams per meter square. If you wonder whether the paper is the same in the manuscript and the iconic, the answer is yes, it's definitely the same paper. So you have the same quality in terms of paper in both of them. But this time it's genuine leather. Not to say that the other one was not real leather, but it was recycled. So in the recycling process you will add up other materials. It looks a bit plasticky at the end, but this time that's premium leather, right? So let me show you this on close-up, if the camera wants to pick it. No. It's a bit tricky with the light. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. We just have to be patient. Right, let's hide. There you can see the finish of that leather. It's a very supple leather, very pleasant. So you can see the grain of it. It feels smooth, it's soft to the touch, and if you compare to the other one, this one, you can see this one is a lot more supple. That's the same push I exerted, and you can almost go up to half of the notebook. So this one is a lot more supple compared to the other one. This one is not too strong, but this one, it feels a lot softer. So this one comes only in two colors, this taupe that you have here and a black version, and that's it. And maybe in the future they will open the collection to different sizes or more colors, because for the moment the colors are pretty masculine. But for the moment that's what the collection has to offer. 5 colors in the manuscript and 2 colors in the iconic. So let's have a look at this iconic. We'll not go too much in details about the paper, because the paper is the same in both notebooks. But let me show you the detail and finish. Again, a very simple product, nothing extraordinary in what you get inside. But here you can see a little difference with the other one. This is the inside card on the other one. This time you've got Verge paper. And it's to remind everyone that they offer premium color paper, coloring papers, premium artist paper. And then you find the same thing as in the other one. After all, it's the same fine notes collection, so there's something common to the two of them. The Hahnemühle history, so let me read what you see in there. In 1584, the paper maker Merton Spiss, with the permission of the Duke of Brunswick, began to create premium writing paper in a paper mill in the Solling Hills. And spoiler, they still do. Then he worked by hand, sheet by sheet, using fine watermarks and deckled edges. What he began over 400 years ago with deeds and official documents, we are continuing today at Hahnemühle. Since 1584, our paper makers have been making paper with passion. As a company, we focus on quality rather than quantity. I think these two notebooks do speak for that, absolutely. In an unbroken German tradition stretching back more than 400 years. What all our paper has in common then as now is that it is flawlessly crafted from the finest materials, so we can guarantee the highest quality for every single sheet. That's absolutely true. I mean, it's not just boasting. It really is true. The quality is absolutely superb in the paper. So this was a very pleasant notebook to the touch. Now that kind of premium notebooks you will not use in the same way as your regular notebooks. What you will do with them is you want to come back to them, you want to reuse them. You do not want to note down things or jot down things and then put them aside. What you want is something that you will take again, touch again, because that leather cover is so pleasant, you want to come back to it. So what I did is I started writing my booktube favorite books. For example, let me explain that to you. Books are a very important part of my life, and every year I watch, in December, January, I watch the booktubers on YouTube presenting their favorite books of 2021. And so I write down the books that I would like to read, and then it's just like a huge pile of book ideas. And so I've got them all on there. All this is written in fountain pen, using different fountain pens. Right. So obviously a lot of fantasy. And so I compile these lists, and then I come back to them when I want to have an idea, when I want to read a book in particular, or when I'm lost as to which book I'm going to read next. And so I will come back to it. And that's the point really of a beautiful notebook like this. You want to come back to it. So contrary to the manuscript, with its stronger cover, this one will remain rather flat when you write it, no problem when you write in it. And at the end, of course, no pocket, just like the other one. But here you can see, I think this last page will show you the perfect finish of the leather cover. Hoping the camera can catch it, of course. No, it won't. It's a question of light, usually. Let's try like this. Oh, perfect. So you can see the leather cover is it's completely finished. It's got round edges, and you can see how the card comes on it. It's in every detail. It's absolutely perfect. I love these round edges. Because sometimes with leather covers, the edges are not finished, but this time they have been finished, they have been painted in the same taupe color, and you've got round edges. It's absolutely perfect. And the feel of that leather is really excellent. I have found, in years of using leather notebooks, that the choice of leather is absolutely important. You've got to have the right tension with the card. It has to remain supple. And when you touch that leather, it's got to remain smooth. It has to have the perfect proportion, and I think here is the case. It's just soft enough. It's very pleasant to use. Been using it for a few months and I really loved it. It's really nice. Of course, I love the iconic more than I love the manuscript. But what I like in the manuscript is that it's typically a notebook that I will throw in a bag, take jot notes everywhere. I have no fear. I put coffee on the manuscript. I put pen marks on the manuscript, and no issue there. This one is a bit less forgiving, so you have to be a bit more careful. Alright, so this is my presentation of the Fine Note Notebooks collection. So here you have the manuscript and its premium version, the iconic. And I hope that you enjoyed this presentation. Okay, so that's my computer speaking. It's going crazy. And I hope I'll see you soon. And up till then, think of putting a thumbs up under the video, because that's the only way I will get more views. Right, thanks, see you next time.